I kept blaming other things when I realized that the biggest obstacle in my life is myself. I've always found the topic of self-sabotage to be interesting because it's like, why wouldn't we want to become the best version of ourselves, you know? Like, why wouldn't we want good things in our lives? Why do we subconsciously or consciously make choices and do things that prevent us from reaching what we want in life? Like, why do we do that? Because it's like right when things are starting to go right, we just do something stupid. And then, the opportunity or whatever is just gone now. And so I always just wondered, why? Sometimes we really just need to get out of our own ways in order to be the person that we want to be, to reach the dreams and the goals that we have, that we want to aspire to. Well, I found that self-sabotage is actually one of the most human self-defense mechanisms out there. Sabotaging behavior is actually us trying to prevent ourselves from getting hurt. It's a maladaptive way we try to take care of ourselves. And self-sabotage can be the large things, but it can also be very, very tiny, minuscule things that we wouldn't even realize. A lot of time we're making choices from our subconscious mind, and when we're doing that, we're basically on autopilot and we don't realize the choices that we're making, whether they are harming us or not, because they're trying to protect us. Clinical neuropsychologist Judy Ho says that self-sabotaging behaviors can be split into 4 life categories. And they are: the L stands for low self-esteem. The I stands for internalized beliefs and basically finding it hard to shake them. The F stands for fear of the unknown and basically self-protection. And the E stands for excessive need for control and preferring control over just about anything else. Now, there are plenty of ways that we self-sabotage, but today I'm just going to focus on 4 of them that I find that a lot of people tend to do. So the first one is perfectionism. And the people who are perfectionists have this ideal mind for themselves. They have a high standard that they're always trying to live up to. And it's like a never-ending competition with yourself. And it can be very paralyzing if you're just consistently doing that, trying to be better without making any mistakes, which are crucial in order for you to grow. Mistakes are not a bad thing. This type of thing can also create an all or nothing behavior loop. If you struggle from these tendencies, it can be quite debilitating and can stop you from starting and or finishing things. It can manifest as different things, and perfectionism also comes from many different experiences in our lives. For me, for example, when I was a kid, from the earliest age, I've always had teachers coming up to my mom: your child is very bright, she's very smart, yada, 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 good grades, high grades. Having to hear that from basically the age of like 5 and up, it definitely creates this expectation in your head, in your own mind. And so, of course, I wanted it to be the best. I got great grades. I remember in the 6th grade, I wanted nothing less than 100. Talk about perfectionism. But you know what? I was also a very, very stressed out child. Extremely stressed out child. And part of it is because I'm holding high expectations for myself. But like always holding high expectations for myself. It's okay to have those expectations, but when you're doing it consistently and never letting yourself make any type of mistakes, mistakes are good. Mistakes are beneficial to growth. So just wanted to put that out there. Okay, the next one is procrastination. We all know the procrastinators. Bet plenty of you guys are watching, probably procrastinating right now. Procrastinators are people who put things off and wait until the last very minute to get it done. This behavior can waste time, and they can also create unproductive time. It sets them up to believe they can only achieve by putting things off and never gets them ahead. Being a procrastinator and always being distracted stops you from recognizing what is holding you back in life. The next one is probably one of the largest culprits, and that is the inner critic or self-critic. These are people that are constantly analyzing their behaviors and beating themselves up. They tend to ignore evidence that is positive and overemphasize evidence to suggest they are flawed or damaged. This type of thinking sets them up to have low self-esteem and makes them unwilling to push themselves and branch out. If we can work on quieting that voice, that inner bully, things will be able to follow a lot more easily. That voice tends to sneak up right when things are getting good. You're having a good time, you're having good days, good weeks, and suddenly that little voice in your head is telling you, you better treasure it now because it's going all downhill from here. You may think this person doesn't like me because of this, and that. Usually these thoughts and questions come in when we have a low sense of self-worth. If we have a higher sense of self-worth, it would more than likely quiet that inner critic in our heads. And the last type of self-sabotaging behavior that I'm going to talk about today is the avoider. There's this great quote that I read from this book that I was reading, and it says, "I visualize self-sabotage as retreating into my own shell, closing the door, and hiding from everyone and everything, while at the same time longing for the world outside that shell." If this doesn't summarize, the avoider and also self-sabotage in general, I don't know what does. But yeah, the avoider will retreat. If they find anything to be threatening, a little fearful, they will hide. They will keep themselves away from situations that will push them out of their comfort zone, which you need to be pushed out of your comfort zone in order to grow. So if you're never doing that, you're never growing, and you're basically stuck in the same position in life, and you're wondering why you're not getting to new points when you're not pushing yourself to get out of your comfort zone, because you're always tending to avoid and hide right when opportunities are tad scary for you. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I kind of do that too. I definitely an avoider, but I've been working on it. Doing this limits growth opportunities. It reinforces fear and removes positive and enjoyable opportunities and experiences from life. Now, I don't want any of you to feel bad if you do these self-sabotaging behaviors, because ultimately we all do. We all have that fight and flight system that always tends to protect us when things are getting a little scary. So we may consciously or unconsciously know it, but we're more than likely self-sabotaging ourselves in some way, shape, or form. I just really wanted to bring attention to the things that we're not conscious to, because we're doing it subconsciously, So with this information, I am hoping that you'll be able to realize, I'm doing this. Having the awareness of any type of problem is definitely the first step to fixing it. You deserve to be happy. But the thing is, you need to allow yourself the best in life. You need to allow yourself to fall in love with your own life. I challenge you to accept the next good thing in life, whether that may just be a compliment, an opportunity, a job offer. And I want you to accept it without trying to justify why you don't deserve it or how things could go wrong. Because yes, things could go wrong, and you might be asking yourself, what if this just goes really badly? But if you're asking yourself that question, you need to also ask yourself, well, what if it all goes right as well? Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see a part 2 to this, make sure you click the like button down below. And in the comments below, let me know which one of these self-sabotaging behaviors resonates with you the most. Lastly, if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I am dedicated to putting out a video every week so that we can continue to learn, to grow, and to unleash our inner potential. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.